Hey guys, Rob, Sigma 3 Survival School. We're doing another edible and medicinal plant video. If you haven't seen the rest of the series, make sure you check that out. The plant I want to talk to you today about is basically the Amaranth plant. And this plant is widespread all over the place, and it has a really lot of great uses for survival. Probably my number one go-to method is just eating it raw. Just plain and simple, just come up here and pick the new shoots and just eat them as is. It's a good green. It's got kind of a unique flavor. It does have a tad bit of tannins in it, which makes it great for diarrhea issues. You can make a tea out of it. But if I'm not just eating this straight off the vine, I'm just going to cook it exactly like I would spinach greens. You just throw it in a little bit of boiling water for 10 or 15 minutes to soften the leaves up, and then add whatever you can for flavoring. I like to add this to like little survival stews and things. Just, you never know what you're going to find in the woods, so just throw it in the mix with something. Try it out. Typically I find it in waste places, along roadsides, disturbed soils. And the really cool thing about this plant is it will grow in really harsh conditions. It's actually a staple crop down in South America and doesn't require much water. Grows in harsh places, and it really grows in great abundance. I mean, you'll usually, because of the amount of seeds that it puts out, when it gets into an area, it has a tendency to want to really take over. Another use for them, you see these large seed heads at the top, and we've got a good stand of it growing here behind us, and it's a fairly large plant. But these seed heads can be made into like gruel, like grits or something like that. You can basically winnow the seeds out and add them to flour, or just a million different uses. So just experiment. I like to make a tea because it does have tannins in it. One of its best uses is to just make a tea out of the leaves, and you can use it for diarrhea type issues. And diarrhea is a big deal when we're out here in a survival situation or primitive living situation, because we're not all used to eating lots of wild edibles and living off the land. Our diet and society is much different than what we would be consuming on a normal everyday basis out here. So initially in a survival situation, you're probably going to have some gastrointestinal issues. You're going to have diarrhea, you're going to get constipated, all these different things. And for diarrhea, I make a tea out of this and drink it down, and you're pretty much good to go. Another use for it is the American Indians would basically take the root. It's got kind of a purple root, and they would use it as a dye. So you can take it to dye different things, for primitive living. That's long term. But all in all, this is one of my top plants, one of my favorite go-to ones, because it does have so many different, it's got proteins, and you can really live off this plant for quite some time. So look for your area in Amaranth. It typically likes to grow in warmer climates, in open sun, open fields, things like that. So keep your eye out for it. It's a fairly large plant. It can grow 6-7 feet. Seen it taller. Here are the seed heads close up. This is before they're ready. This is early in the season. Typically find this plant during the hot times of the summer, from July to mid-fall is the best time to harvest them. Alright, so here's a close-up of what the leaves look like. You want to try to pick the new growth, the young ones, and here are the seed heads. These things can be winnowed and ground into flour, and just tons and tons of different uses. Alright guys, so that's the wild amaranth. It's, like I said, it's one of my favorite plants, so make sure you go out and try to find it in your area and forage a little bit. It's usually in great abundance, so you usually don't have to worry about wiping it out too quickly. Also, keep your eye out. 2013, I've got my book coming out. It's called Survivalist Field Guide to Wild Plants or Wild Foods. So I'm not sure exactly when the release date's going to be. We're still working on it. So just check the website occasionally and look for updates on our YouTube channel about it. And if you support what we're doing, please like our videos, subscribe, and share with your friends. That's the best way to help us with the school. We come out here and spend a lot of hours and free time making these videos for your information, totally for free. And we ask that you help support us, you know, because we do make a little bit of money off the YouTube channel. Sharing these videos will help us out substantially. So, you know, send these out on Facebook and share with your friends, and we greatly appreciate it. Thank you for your continued support.